You join me out here in the wilderness, somehow still inside, to take a look at the all-new Subaru Solterra electric vehicle. Hi, I'm Joe and welcome to JKEV, and we're here at the 2022 Chicago Auto Show to take a look at this all-new Subaru. So let's first take a look at what Subaru is doing here. Through a partnership with Toyota, they've worked together to build their all-new electric vehicle. In this case, the Subaru, it's the Solterra. In the case of the Toyota, it's the bZ4X, I believe is the name. Yep, bZ4X. So in the case of the Subaru, it's only available in all-wheel drive. It'll have 215 horsepower and 220 miles of range. One downside that I want to point out right away is, according to Subaru's website, it'll be able to charge a significant charge in under 1 hour. I don't know how to take that for what the charging speed will be, because in the case of the Hyundai Ioniq 5, that charges in 18 minutes from 10 to 80%, as I would call a significant charge. So charging may be behind on this vehicle, but as I said in those Hyundai videos, if you're not road tripping, the charging speed is really not relevant. So this may be the ideal vehicle for you. If all you're doing is just a daily commute, less than 100 or 150 miles, this vehicle will work just fine in your household. And obviously it comes in at a much better price point. This is going to start, in the case, I don't think we have, okay, so we have base price for the Solterra is going to be $37,000, probably running up into the mid-40s once you fully option it up. But it's a very good, in my opinion, it's a good take for their first try at electric vehicle. They were a little bit behind in the times. You know, every other company's been making electric vehicles for a few years now, it seems like. But it's nice to see Subaru and Toyota join the party, because more choice is always better for everyone. If there's a lot of brand loyal people out there that love their Subarus and love their Toyotas, and this is the perfect vehicle for them. If they want to get in a vehicle that feels just like their last Subaru or Toyota vehicle, this could be the option for them. In typical Subaru fashion, ground clearance is not so bad, 8.3 inches. So, you know, pretty standard for the Subaru lineup, I'd say. And most impressively, deliveries are going to actually begin this summer. So speaking of charging, that happens right here. Similar to BMW, Subaru has these little click paddles. This is pre-production, so when I click the bottom one, it doesn't automatically undo the top one. Hopefully that's something they figure out by the time it gets done. It's a little quirk to pick on, but you know, I'm going to point out everything I see. But I really am a fan of these click covers much more than the kind that you have to pull out and then they kind of just dangle against the side of your car. So when we take a look at the front of the all-new Subaru Solterra, I'm kind of getting a lot of a Mustang Mach-E vibe here. Just, I don't know, just the way that this kind of arches forward and kind of this like hexagon kind of styling here kind of resembles what the Mach-E has for its front grille, which isn't a bad thing. You know, a lot of brands copy each other when they find something that's successful, and this is a design cue that I'm happy to see made its way to this vehicle. Gives it a little more aggressive look than just a standard flat front grille. One thing I will point out though, there's a lot of exposed paint here, so definitely recommend getting some paint protection film if you're going to get this vehicle. We transition to the side here. We see these daytime running lights that wrap around, and then an LED light module in the middle. One thing I want to highlight from the side of the vehicle is a lot of plastic cladding here. Not sure how I feel about it yet. I kind of think it's a little too much, but if it does help keep the cost down, well then it might be worth putting on the vehicle. Comment down below whether you like the styling of the Toyota bZ4X or the Solterra more. Love to hear what you think. But this is the Subaru going with their more rugged off-road look, so that kind of makes sense why they're adding a little more plastic. Now as we transition to the back of the vehicle, this is actually where I think is the best side of the Subaru Solterra. Front had a little bit of an aggressive look, kind of like that, but on the back, I love the swooping tail with the fin spoiler right here. Extra downforce for your 216 horsepower electric vehicle. And then into a very nice looking tailgate here. And of course, with all these crossover vehicles, the liftback styling really helps with cargo capacity. Let's come in here and take a look. Pretty comparable to, I'd say, the Kia EV6 and Ioniq 5. I think those were maybe a touch bigger, but this still is pretty respectable. This is still pre-production, so there are things that can change. Like, for example, they might change the way this load floor is, but Nice to have a little well right down there for charging cables. And yeah, pretty usable rear storage. Now let's go take a look inside. As we head inside the Subaru Solterra, driver's seat is set to how I would sit, and very ample legroom, and actually I'm surprised, very ample headroom too. I actually could get very comfortable here for an extended drive. It's definitely not a road trip machine, or if I was going for a ride for a couple hours, I could definitely sit here for a while. And no glass roof, but decent amount of headroom. This side kind of does impede a little bit, but not too bad. I'm a full-size adult and I fit fine. Next thing I want to point out is heated seats for the rear, and then USB-C chargers in the back. Thumbs up to Subaru and Toyota, or I don't know about Toyota yet, I have to go check theirs out, but thumbs up to Subaru for getting the USB-C right back here. The vents are down low though, so I'm gonna have very cold or warm shins, but my face will not feel all of that temperature, unfortunately. It's a 60/40 style folding back seat with a cup holder here in the middle, with a little tray to add some extra little things into. But all in all, I'm pretty impressed with the rear seat position inside the Subaru Solterra. So as we get in here, pretty comfortable seating position. What's interesting is the instrument cluster is so far out front here. And with the seat where I like to sit and this wheel raised all the way, the bottom inch or so is kind of cut out in the arch, but I can still see the top pretty well. So I think it's kind of like a hybrid between a regular instrument cluster and where a heads-up display would be. So I guess I'd have to drive it to see whether I like that or not, but it is definitely in my field of vision in a good way, so that could be a big positive. Then we go over here to the infotainment system, another large touchscreen like all vehicles are doing. A lot of black plastic that is already showing all the fingerprints. Brands have just got to get away from this black plastic. All over here on the door where you would touch for your windows and locks too, lots of black plastic. Sliding, has a nice sliding armrest with a little bit of storage underneath. Not a big storage well, but down here, definitely room for a purse or something like that down low. So has some good storage. A couple water bottles can fit here in the door too. So I think it's a well-designed vehicle for the market that it's going after, which really works for like a nice daily commuter with good room in the back for kids, or a quick small trip away that's like not too long distance. All right, here from the driver's seat, again, I point out this piano black that is everywhere and so many smudges. Giant infotainment screen. Again, prototype vehicle, so things are subject to change, but I like this little cloth wrap right here. Soft padding right there where you put your armrest. Nice, comfortable seats. Got a nice cushion to them. Feel like I'm supported very well. Nice side bolsters too. Here's what I'm talking about. So from my point of view, see the screen is just blocked just a little bit, but won't know until we drive and see how they utilize that screen to see whether I'll be able to, my view will be obstructed or not. Memory seats and standard door handles. Props for easy in and out access, not having to teach people how to get into your car. So here is the 2023 bZ4X. That is the Toyota version of the Subaru Solterra. So I just want to do a quick rundown of it, point out a couple key differences. One key difference is you'll see that the plastic front cladding is more of a polished painted plastic here rather than the kind of matte plastic that was in the Solterra. So this one's going to be available with a front wheel drive only motor. So that'll be 201 horsepower and 250 miles of range, versus the all-wheel drive will be the same 215 horsepower, 220 miles of range. 0 to 60 will be 7.7 seconds. That's the targeted. And it's the same, so it's the 60, so Toyota tells us it is the 64 kilowatt hour battery. So we can assume that the Subaru has the exact same battery. It's interesting how each brand kind of has different stats on their website, but if you piece it all together, you can figure out more about the vehicle. But same as the Solterra, deliveries are expected this summer. The same $37,000 to $42,000 price point. One other difference though about the Toyota, it actually is available with solar panels on the roof, and Toyota estimates you can recover 1,000 miles throughout the year just by the roof getting adequate sunlight throughout the day. But a little bit different design language on the front as well. It doesn't have that Mach-E kind of styling that the Solterra has. This is more, a little bit more of Toyota's design language, a little bit different. But it's really you know, if you're a Toyota person, this is going to be the car for you. Interior is going to feel just like a RAV4. Or we can quickly walk over here and take a look at the chassis that it is built on. So we can see that this will be the same as the Solterra. Motor up in the front, second motor back here in the back, and skateboard kind of style batteries in the floor, just as we're used to seeing in pretty much all electric vehicles. Any ground up design electric vehicle is going to benefit from those batteries down low. A couple quick stats about the vehicle. You know, pretty standard stuff right here. There's nothing groundbreaking about this EV, but with that said, it's good to see Toyota and Subaru finally go and make their first electric vehicle. So if you haven't already, please let me know which of these vehicles appeals to you more, the Solterra or the bZ4X, or neither. Maybe you like something else, but definitely leave that down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe this video. We have a lot more content coming out at the 2022 Chicago Auto Show. Can't wait to hopefully drive this vehicle soon and kind of see how does it actually stack up. A lot of people are underrating it, saying this can't compete with the ID4 and vehicles like that. But sitting in the Solterra, I can kind of see the person they're targeting is, you know, not the road tripper, just the standard family commuting vehicle. It does a good job of that. So be sure to let us know what you think, and take care till next time. So that's a wrap for the all-new 2022 Subaru Solterra. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this video, and stay tuned for a lot more content coming from the 2022 Chicago Auto Show, and take care until next time.